All right, cool. All right, what's up, Rebel fam? Thank you for joining us today. Very exciting, very exciting. We have a gentleman I've mentioned a few weeks back because it was just such a powerful story, and because of some really amazing people in the industry. Shout out Zoe Wilder. We were able to connect with him and actually hear it straight from the source. So not just reading a news article or watch another interview, we got him right here. So I'm very excited about this. Crazy story. It's crazy it had to happen in the first place, but I'm really grateful to have an evangelist that can kind of break it down for us. So first and foremost, I just want to welcome Corvain Cooper to our Rebel audience. Corvain, how you doing today, bro?
Oh man, we just chilling. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man, it's great to have you. We also have my co-host Lulu, as always. Lulu, how you doing?
Hey everyone, really excited to be here as well. Thank you, Corvain, for being on our session tonight. Really looking forward to hearing your story because it's a beautiful one. It's a fucked up one, but it's a beautiful one.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. All right. So, let's just get into it, man. First of all, before all of this stuff happened, who's Corvain, right? Who was this guy?
Corvain grew up, in the ghetto, trying to, move fast. And Corvain, look into my eyes is coming too. So get ready. Zoe's over there cooking it up right now. So we're looking for it to come out, around February, around, Black History Month. We're thinking about that's the date that we're working on. But it's a series, and you get to see the whole Corvain. You get to see little Corvain. You get to see everything, how I became the man I am today, all the stuff that I went through. But before you get to meet this Corvain had to, learn the hard way. Corvain wanted to make fast money. He never wanted to hurt nobody. So he just wanted to sell some marijuana and, do all nonviolent crimes and just try to make a living and try to live above his means and try to get the nice things in life and, experience, different things growing up in different cars and different this. And it all started with my father was a hustler. So I already had the hustler kind of spirit in me, so it just starts there. And then, it goes into, it's a real touchy story. And it's going to make LA from a different perspective because I'm tired of everyone just looking at LA. It's like I just came back from Oakland and we're going back to do because I'm a speak at 710 Labs too. But I just came back and people just have a perception of just this low rider, gangbanger. Everyone's a low rider. I just hate it. So I want my book to not only that, just change the perception of LA. Like, we have hustlers and players and, I've kicked it with all the celebrities and I've done all the little stuff that, that I see that's being done nowadays. And I'm just like, no one looks at LA like that. And I'm just like, damn, somebody needs to write a story. And that was just one of the bases of, it was just a fact of being in the feds. When you're doing federal time, you're in 50 states all at one time. So you're with all the states, you're with someone from everywhere. So that's the only place you can go on this planet that you're going to be in all 50 states at one time. So it's a perception of LA, and I'm about to change that with this book.
Okay. So your pops is a hustler. Like in your family, were you being encouraged to go a certain route? Did you do that on your own? Like what were they influencing you to do?
Well, I guess coming from the ghetto and coming from the hood, when you start bringing the money home, they're not telling you no either. You know what I mean? They're not telling you no. I'm paying lights. I moved out at 16, so, I paid bills kind of early. So you're paying bills, you're starting to have new cars and you're starting to do this. And then, you are the one everyone's depending on now. It's kind of like I took the torch. It's like, well, my dad went to the feds when I was 18, but up until 17, 18, I kind of had all the nice clothes, or I was wearing mink coats in high school, so he had me kind of fly. So when you get cut off from there, you're like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? So now they throw you to the wolves. Now you were used to getting the Jordans every week, and you were used to getting all this stuff every week, you know, and getting allowance and all the stuff. Now that's cut off. Now you got to go to the wolves and figure on what you're going to do now to keep this whole little image that you've had up for 17, 18 years. So when all that occurred, it was like they passed the torch, and I kind of ran with it. So now, you know, I was the one keeping the parties going and keeping the family together, and, you know, keeping everything on a tight net. And by seeing stuff, I said this on Vanity Fair, by seeing my granny, rest in peace, she died while I was in federal prison. But, you know, she worked for Harrison Ford. He paid for her funeral too. I was gone. But by her working for Harrison Ford, I knew what real money looked like at a young age. And then I knew what drug money looked like, you know. So I was like, oh God, let me see. I got something to chase. Like, I've been on Mulholland and meeting Steven Spielberg and Melissa Ford when she helped write E.T., you know. So getting to see these things at a young age is, and then my dad hustling with Harry O and Freeway Rick and all this type of stuff, and having 7, 8 cars and, you know, and all the big chains. I got to see the ignorant money, and I got to see what real money looks like. Like, damn, he's in a Toyota 4Runner with Prolines on, but he's in Mulholland. You know what I mean? So, you know, I got to see the balance. So it gave me a lot to chase, you know. So I was on a mission then, you know. So when I was hustling, I always had a mission of what I was trying to do and trying to do for my family. And I did this. I kept my kids in private school, and I just wanted the best for everybody.
Okay. And break it down to me how things started to go sideways.
Well, what happened was, you don't even notice this. Another thing I want people to know: you don't know when it's going sideways. When the feds are coming, it's fact. Not. You don't get a ring the alarm and your pager doesn't go off. You know. So I got out the game. I'd hustled all the way up to like 09 or 10, where I was selling weed, and I stopped selling weed. And then, so when you're taking the time out, because we're losing now, it's going bad now. We're sitting. You know, you want to start off, when you start sitting pounds, you start sending the pounds. Boom, the pounds are touching. You want to get greedy. Now you want to send crates. We made it to pounds where we was up to sending 40 pounds a day. You know what I mean? So you can get 200 pounds there a week just in the mail, and 800 pounds a month. But of course, you want more, and you want to get greedy. You want more stuff. And as you try to obtain and want more stuff, you're actually putting a big target on your back. You know what I mean? And then, you know, we lose the first crate at 338 pounds, which started the conspiracy in 2009. It's how the conspiracy actually started. They find that, but you know what they say at trial? They didn't stop there. They went and shot more crates. So they're thinking in their minds, if you can lose 338 pounds, well, how many pounds do they really have? You know what I mean? So then, you know, it starts to trail and they start to follow you. But then I fall back. I say, oh, okay. I feel it's the guy that I'm dealing with. I'm thinking that it's him, you know. So I say, my hands, I hope he gets money. So I tell the guy, you know what? I'm cool. Let's just let bygones be bygones. I went and got some weed from my connect. You lost it still, you know. So let's let bygones be bygones. That's cool. I'm cool. I'm going to take the loss. Let me just lose my last little money. Start a little store. I started a clothing store for my daughter. You know what I mean? With both of my daughter's face on it. Let me start a clothing line. Let me just do what I really love, because I like to dress and I like clothing, you know. So that's how when we're going to get to 40 tons in a second. So the conspiracy is 40 tons too, by the way. If you look up the case, for people that don't know the case, go to October 2013 to 2018. I went to trial. Me, Evelyn LaChapelle, and Natalia Wade, we all three went to trial in Charlotte, North Carolina. Look up the Charlotte Observer. Charlotte 2013. Look up the trial, look up the 40 tons, so you can know it's real. You want to be a part of something that's real. We didn't just make this number up at the top of our head. So as things are going along, we go, and I'm just living my life. But I got caught with 1 pound of marijuana at the Laker game in 2009. But I kept prolonging, pushing it back, paying the lawyer money. So in 2011, I said, let me just put this behind me, because it's not going to go anywhere. I have to go turn myself in and do the time. So I turned myself in 2011. I get out 2012. I do it 1 year for a bottle of codeine and 1 pound of marijuana. So those are my 2 priors. I go live my life. I think it's all behind me. I hear the guy as 19 years that I was doing business with. And so I said, I guess it's kind of bad, got him and his wife. So let me go on, let me send him some money, let me write him, let me see what's going on. So that was a bad move. So that's how to get my address. So now I'll write him. Now, I don't know that he's working with the feds or building a big conspiracy against me. It's been 3-4 years. I haven't seen this person since 2009. So you could be riding around right now, you that's driving around in the car, whoever was hustling and thought they was finished hustling, and now you want to do podcasts now. You don't want to hustle no more, but you started the weed to start the podcast. They know about it. You have a 5-year statute of limitations, everybody. So before the 5 years of statute of limitations, and you have to exit the conspiracy, it's not up. It's 4 years. So now January comes. I've been out 6 months. I'm getting my clothing line. I got Charles Barkley wearing it, Wale. I got Faith Evans. I got all the celebrities wearing it. I'm using my celebrity card. Tiger, everybody's wearing it. And they come knock on the door and say, hey, remember North Carolina 2000? In the 2000, you sold the marijuana, get in the back seat, boom, 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 slam, all in front of my kids. I just promised my kids that I'm not going anywhere. They're using this same 1 pound. It's the only 1 pound of marijuana I've ever got caught with my entire life. The rest is he say. So they used the same Beverly Hills cop that pulled me over from the club when the Lakers won the championship back at the trial. So that's like double jeopardy. I just served my time for it. So they used that at my trial. They convicted me, Evelyn LaChapelle, and Natalia Wade in October for the entire day. They charged me as a leader for the entire conspiracy. The more you hide, and the more I've never been to North Carolina. Is one of the reasons why I went to trial. I never touched the money because Evelyn and Natalia touched the money that went through the banks. And I never mailed any of the marijuana. I'd have paid somebody. So the more you don't touch it, and the more you think that nobody knows that you're this big old ghost, the more you become the leader, and the more everything is going to get blamed on you. So the more that you think that you're smart, they don't think you're smart. So just keep in mind, I never touched the marijuana. I never touched the money. That made me the leader, and I got a life sentence without touching anything. So you don't have to touch it. You can be the mastermind. You can think you're slick, and the slicker you are, the worse it's going to be.
So you kept your hands cleanish for the most part, as best possible. Right. You got 2 relatively minor offenses with the codeine and the that 1 pound of marijuana.
That's no longer on my record anymore because I was on Prop 64 and Prop 47. So that's not even no longer on my jacket anymore. So.
But that is then also used against you again later.
Because that's how you get the 851. Now when the new thing comes, that's it for you, buddy. If you want to take this to trial, which I'm going to trial because I have never even been to Charlotte in my life. So why am I not going to go to trial? To me, you're dumb if you don't go to trial. That to me, you've never been, you haven't touched anything. The people I've never even met. I feel if me and you are going to make money, I don't need to meet you. If we have the same idea, we're supposed to make money. We have an agreement, correct? Boom, we have agreement. I'm going to mail the marijuana. You're going to mail the money back. It ended up being a girl that was selling some of the marijuana. She sold 10,000 pounds. It ended up being a woman that I've never even met. She says this in black and white at the trial that she's never met me. So they said, well, how do you know that you're talking to him on the phone? Are you a voice expert? I mean, you have to be a voice expert then to say that you're talking. How do you know who you're talking to on the phone? And they have all these things that's going on. Spice Shop, you can change your voice. You can do this. You know that you were talking to Corvain Cooper on the phone, and you've never met me a day in your life. And this is in black and white paper. Of course, I don't think I'm getting convicted. What I mean? So,
all right. So this very unfortunate entire thing falls through right kind of when you thought you were kind of like about to slide into home base.
Right.
So this is what year?
I went for 1 year, so I did 8 years because from January.
What year did it start? Did your sentence start?
I would say 2011 because I got charged for that same 1 pound. So I did 1 year in the state and then 8 in the Fed, so it was 9 total.
Okay. So you had to do 7 in federal, which this was in
8.
Louisiana.
I did 8 in the
8.
federal.
I'm sorry. 8. Man, 8. And this is in
And hold
Louisiana
on,
too.
all like USPs too. I've never been to a camp or a medium or a low or none of that. I have been in all USPs. I've seen 8 murders and 7 suicides. So it's a
Wow.
lot of stuff that you got to live with the aftermath of this whole thing too.
Right. And this is in a state that you had never been to, right?
Right.
So it must have been very difficult for anybody to come visit you.
Yeah, because it's in Louisiana, so you don't get visits. We're on lockdown all the time. It's a tough cookie, man. It ain't nothing to play with. You know what I mean? I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I wouldn't even want my worst enemy, which I don't even have any enemies. I wouldn't want no one to go through this. It's like it's a real thing. It's not nothing to play with.
I honestly I cannot even fathom what you've been through and your family's been through. And despite it all, you have a very empowering story. Like this is a story with it's still I don't want to say it's a happy ending, because I feel like you're just like the beginning of your trajectory, but it ends up being a happy story ultimately because you are let out. And a lot of people talk shit about the Trump administration, but it's not all bad, right? Like there's a positive story here. So can you talk to me about, once you're doing your time, how did you get out? Like what had to happen? Were you meeting with people? Were there like, I kind of know because I researched it, but I want to hear like from you, what had to be true to make all of that happen?
This is a long shot. This ain't nothing that just kaboom, then it's just kaboom, right? You're praying on the reason why we own that 240 tons, we own that executive clemency is better than lottery. That's what I said at the airport when they first interviewed me. And the reason why we trademarked that immediately is because it is. You feel what I'm saying? And we're trying to get all the clemency people, we're trying to do a clemency push with all the people. But it's better than the lottery because it's a lottery ticket. This person has your life in a gumbo pack, and he has to pull it out, and your number has to get called over 200,000, maybe 100,000, million applications. It doesn't, you don't know the number. And the chances are very, very, very slim. And then your chances of Trump doing it, right, with all the scrutiny he's under, you're depending on, I have 156,000. I was one of the front runners. I had 156,000 signatures thanks to all the people that, that were voting on me. But what's going on is I'm still dependent on a man that is saying that the election fraud, that he's not honoring the new president, that he's not, he's not doing this and he's not doing that. You know what I mean? And they're talking about he's rushed the Capitol and all this stuff is going on during the time. I'm banking on him. So that's why I have respect for this man. You feel what I'm saying? Because he already was going through enough stuff within himself, which him and Ivanka wrote me the other day too, by the way. And it's just to go through all that and to worry about little old me and getting me out. And I was like a last second shot because at 11:30 at night, I still wasn't called yet. My name wasn't on the screen. They had names on the screen. So you only got to 12. If your name's not on there by 12, and good luck. He's getting on that plane. So when I looked to my left, Trump was already getting on the plane. And I didn't even know he's getting on the helicopter, and I didn't even know that I was called yet, but they had already called Ivanka called my mom at 12:30. I found that out later after I got out, but once I got the caller. But when I was in there, and that morning when I seen Biden getting on the plane and Trump getting on the helicopter, I thought it was over with for me because they ain't called my name yet.
So how did you find out that your name was chosen?
I was coming from the showers. We had to take showers. It was coming off a very bad lockdown. So I looked to my left and I see him getting on the plane. I'm like, damn. Because I got to fix my mind. You got to fix your mind and get ready back to do this time, So I take a deep breath. I never forget this dude named Marquise. He's from DC. He screamed out like, man, the paperwork probably messed up. Everybody was rooting on me. I'm like the go-to guy, so they like, man, you ain't supposed to be in here for that. So I look to my left, Trump getting on the helicopter. You're not going to sign it on the helicopter. You know what I mean? So he's getting on, he's saying bye. Biden's getting elected in. It's early in the morning. He's getting inaugurated in, and I got to figure this thing out. And I get back to the cell. It's maybe there 5 minutes, 10, 20 minutes. It's like counselor on the range, man. We on lockdown, so there's no reason for a counselor to be on the range. You know what I mean? We're on the lockdown. Then we just got handcuffed to go to the shower. So when I hear the door click, you got to understand that's a breach of security at a USP, and under the circumstance of lockdown that we're under, why would you handcuff me to the shower? I mean, the handcuff, put your hand through the tray slide to get handcuffed to just walk to the shower. And why would you come open my door? So then we opened the door. Said, you got 5 minutes to pack your shit up, man. You know what I mean? You just got clemency. So it was just, that was it, man. That was the deal breaker right there. That was the moment I won't forget. I got the clemency papers in my hallway at the crib. It's big. You feel what I'm saying? It's a moment, and it's a moment I'll never forget.
Wow, that just gave me chills thinking about it, and how you already started mentally starting to like let it go. You were kind of just setting your mind straight, like, all right, I got to figure out the next move, and then you get that news right at the last hour. That wow, that's powerful.
Because it's like you almost gave up. It was almost give up time.
Wow. Okay, man. All right. So in order to